longest trials in Orange County history.
Okay.
And that was the Bratz versus the Barbie doll. And that that was a huge thing. I mean,
Right.
my business, we went from being open 9 to 5 to 24/7.
Wow. Good for you. You are an entrepreneur's entrepreneur, aren't you, Colleen? Huh?
Well,
See, got to take advantage of the opportunities.
that's
So,
right.
a teachable moment again for our audience is the investment that you made in digital. We just had an author on about digital transformations, and now you're here talking about. We don't
Ooh,
usually
the
get
dog.
two gongs in the show. I was not expecting that, ladies and
Wow.
gentlemen. Wow, the engineer did that on his own. He was just so motivated by what you said. That's fantastic. But okay, and you're continuing to see it return.
Yes.
There's a return on that continued commitment to it because it's getting harder, I would think, because people are. What do you write about in your blogs?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Nobody reads them. Sometimes they do. I think sometimes people do. No, seriously.
I'm
It's just
sure they
it's
do.
just all about search engine optimization. So
Keywords
you put
and-
in your tags and then you put it on your Facebook company page and the LinkedIn, and then the minute somebody clicks on it, because I say, oh, to read more, ding ding ding, search engines love you. So
Okay.
yeah, so it helps a lot
Wow.
for me.
Wow, we could go on a lot more about this, but I've got other questions for Colleen.
Okay.
Is that okay if we move on here on Critical
Okay,
Mass
let's
Radio
do it.
Show and Podcast? If you could give one suggestion or advice to other entrepreneurs who are running and leading high growth companies, what advice would you offer for them?
Well, I always say, just trust your instincts. And, if you think something is the right, you just feel like it's the right thing. If you are an entrepreneurial person, I think you can have insight and just trust your instincts and just go for it. Try it, because you have to take risks.
Okay.
And also, back to social media, definitely make sure that you have an SEO campaign and social media in your business when you begin, because it is the future and it does help.
Well, a lot of people worry about the cost associated with SEO and the fact that they don't maybe fully understand what they're doing and they could be wasting money. So your advice of getting a trained person to maybe get you started and teach you
Correct.
what you don't know
Right.
might help. You might pay more money initially, but you might save more money long term.
Exactly.
Was that your experience?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You maybe not get the ROI if you don't have someone helping you to.
Right.
You could spend a lot of money to figure out what they know just in their DNA. Huh?
Right. Yeah.
Awesome. This is great. I didn't know what to expect. I've not met Colleen before today's show. I just knew that she was running a fast-growing company. So there you go. All right. Let's look at the other side of the coin. I lead peer groups for business owners, and even though we're in the longest recovery since the Great Recession, every month, it's not easy running a business.
No.
There's always something that you need your focus. So I'm going to ask you to share a challenge with our audience, something that you're facing as you scale and grow your firm, something that you're overcoming, but you're still kind of grinding on a little bit. Can you share that with our audience?
The number one thing is employees, skilled employees.
Okay.
The unemployment is at the lowest it's been in decades. And, when you need someone new as we grow, it's just trying to find someone that is willing to, work 40 hours a week and, and will actually work what they're supposed to.
Right.
It's hard to find employees.
What type of work do your employees do for you?
They're mostly in production.
Okay.
They, so they take orders and deal with the customers and produce the prints, and because we just print all types of things. We print blueprints. That's the majority of the business. They're not really blueprints anymore, but we have.
What are they?
They're just digital bond plots, or CAD plots.
Sorry, I asked.
But because most of my clients are cities, engineering firms, architects, builders. That's the majority of my clients.
Okay.
So
you've made a digital transformation inside your business then
Yes.
too over the years, right?
Yes.
Away from hard copy blueprint to whatever it is you just said
yeah.
they were.
Well, they're still hard copies.
Okay.
But yeah, they're not the old diazo blueprints like
Okay.
with ammonia. That's what we used to do
Oh, my
back in the day.
goodness.
We've been around so long.
Okay.
And to scan something, they used a camera and took photographs. That was how they scanned large format
Wow.
things back in the day.
Back in the day.
Back in the day.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
How many employees do you have, Colleen?
9.
9. And so finding employees that fit the culture and
Correct.
have the work ethic
Right.
and want to do the job continues to be a challenge in this
Yes.
economy, right?
As it is, I think, with everyone you speak to.
It has
Everybody, yeah.
So I've been doing this 11 years, leading these peer groups, and if there's one area that is like a pendulum, it's the employment scene. the pendulum goes one way or the other way, and some spends a little bit of time in between, but it sort of gets pegged one way or the other. I started this in 2007 and 8, and at that
Oh,
point,
wow.
there was 100 applicants for every position, right?
Exactly.
It was heartbreaking how many
Yes.
people were looking for work. And now the pendulum has moved all the other way, where it's hard to even get people maybe to apply for jobs
Yeah.
sometimes. I don't know if that's been your
Oh,
experience,
yes.
but I've heard that in my
I
community.
just am filling a position right now, and it's been like 4 weeks of interviews. I finally found someone I think is going to work out, but it's like, oh my goodness, it never was that way.
Right.
So,
Right. So it's one way or the other when it comes to
Yep.
employees. All right. Well, Colleen Howes, let's continue the conversation. I like to ask guests kind of what I call the guiding principle question, which is, I know you have a philosophy and it's leading to the culture that you've built with the company. And I'm wondering if you could just kind of discuss, of all the things that you care about in business, what's your overarching view on the guiding principle that you're using to lead and grow the firm?
well, I have very loyal employees. Most of the people who've worked for me have been there for over 10 years. So I want to keep the business going to keep them and their families going too, and myself. I like my lifestyle, of course, but it's like you have to make sure that you treat them more like a family than just staff members. And I really believe in being honest, and have integrity. And I work really hard because I have to.
Right.
But so that's it's just work hard and trust your instincts and take good care of your employees, because you'd be nothing without them.
Yes, because you're in a service business.
Correct.
And it really does rely on the people, isn't it?
Yes.
Because they're the ones who have to perform the service.
Right. And talk to my clients, and everybody works real hard for me. I'm very blessed in that way.
What do you do?
I usually run around and cause havoc. But
Okay.
no, I do all the marketing.
Okay.
And I'm the face of the company, so I go out to all the networking events, and I don't have a salesperson, so
Okay.
I am the salesperson. And so is social media and SEO.
And how has that changed the not the technology piece? We kind of covered that, but what have you seen being in the marketplace, dealing with the kind of clients that you're dealing with? Have you noticed any changes in their relationships with you, or the places you have to go, or is that still show up, be consistent, be pleasant, make relationships, care about the prospects? I mean, is it still that, what you're finding?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, maybe some people are printing a little bit less now than they used to. A lot of people are just going to like the iPad on construction sites. But
Really?
I think we're going to have another generation pass away before we're going to be all digital out on construction sites, because there's still a lot of people that like the hard copy to look at, the blueprints or
Sure.
the spec book, So I think that aspect, it's changing a little bit. But overall, it's just, you just have to do business the way everyone's done it forever. And that's just get out and meet your people and be nice and do what you say you're going to do.
Right. So do you recognize that in your SWOT analysis, that a threat is that digital technology could possibly disrupt your core business at some point?
Yes, but then, on the other hand, like I have diversified to sort of protect myself against that. So, like I was planning on a recession this year. And I already planned on it. I had my strategy laid out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I paid off all of my expensive plotters, all my vehicles. I got really ready for something bad to happen.
Okay.
And it hasn't yet. But
Okay.
I'm still sort of preparing for that. So that's why I am, trying to leverage my DBE and WBE to get in with a lot of the, people that are doing transportation, healthcare, and education work. Because those big contractors, they are needing DBE and WE goals to be met.
Okay.
So that's my focus, to kind of get through the recession that may be coming.
Okay. So earlier in the interview, you sort of led me to believe that you didn't do a lot of that planning stuff, that you sort of ran with your gut. But you're sort of telling me you do the planning
Well, I don't write it
stuff.
down.
Okay.
It's all in here.
But you think that way.
Sure. Oh, of
Strategic
course.
thinking.
Oh, I always
right?
think ahead, yes.
Yeah, you got
But-
to, right? So there's no downside to paying off your debt and to not having as much need for cash, right? I mean, that's a good thing.
I don't know of any downside.
I don't
to
know of
that.
any downside either. Hey, call in, ladies and gentlemen. If you can think of a downside, text us.
Yeah.
All right, keep it to yourself. We don't
Yeah.
need to know, right? Right, Colleen?
Yes.
All right. You're going to come back, right, in a year or two? I don't know. I'll invite you back. You're fun.
Sure.
It'd be great to have you back on the show. What's going to be different in a couple years when you come back on the show? Where do you think you see your company going?
Well, I see maybe someone else being the face of my company, or or someone to just kind of help me run it, so I'm not on my own
Okay.
all the time. It'd be nice because I'm getting older and I'm thinking about sort of traveling more, and so it'd be nice to have. I'd like one of my kids to come and take over the company, but we never know about that.
Are they interested?
No, absolutely not. But you never know. Things change.
How old are they?
My youngest is 24.
Okay.
Just got through traveling around the world.
Oh, why
And,
not?
yeah.
Do it at that age,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. And then I have a 34-year-old son and a 38-year-old son.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're not in the business?
No.
Okay. This is very common.
Yes.
Where family businesses, the children, maybe it's familiarity or whatever, they don't take an interest in the business.
Right.
Yeah. There's other things that are more interesting to them.
Yeah,
What
that's
about inside the company? People potentially that could. You're doing it all now, so it's kind of hard to see somebody else stepping into that role, huh?
Right. Yeah. But we're going to be probably employee owned eventually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
ESOP?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I've got to decide how that's going to happen.
Right.
but,
That's great.
yeah.
Wow. This is awesome. What a great interview. All right. So if there's someone out there that might be a client or would like to learn more about your company, how do they find you online, Colleen?
www.sabp.com.
Okay. And what keywords did they put in Google so they come up on one of your SEO keyword searches?
Oh, well, one of my best believe it or not, is litigation or legal copying and lamination
Wow.
and Mylar. Of all why those are the ones, I don't know.
Did you think it when you put them in, or were you surprised by the results and just kind of added them to the bucket of
I
names?
use the same bucket of
Okay.
all the services, but those are the ones I get the biggest hits on.
Wow. Say that again?
Legal copying, Mylar, and lamination.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to find Colleen, just type those words into Google and bang, she's
There you
going to
go.
pop up. You'll find her blogs about that. I'm sure you write about those subjects then too, right? If they're the popular ones. So,
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been a kick in the pants and fun time. Thank you for generously giving up your time, sharing your knowledge. You got 2 gongs, which in the annals of 1,000, 1,500 shows, I can't remember more than one handful of people that have been able to do that. So thank
You're
you for
too
being
kind.
No, it's the way of the world. You can listen to all the shows and prove me out. Thank you for being a friend of the program.
It's a pleasure.
All right. Thank you, Paul Roberts, our gong master and engineer for today's show, and our 3 producers without whom I could not do this show each week, Joan Park, Crystal Nunley, our newest producer who's now back at college at Fullerton, Nicole Terry. If you'd like to connect with me, I would ask you to do it on LinkedIn. I'm Richard Franzi, Franzi. And until our next show, I hope all of your business decisions will move your company in a positive direction.
You have been listening